Hey guys, this is Mark Huckleberry with Huck's Cards again, and today we're going to talk about building sets, which is something that I really enjoy doing, and I just wanted to give you some tips on how to do this. First off, with building the sets, you need to buy like a big lot of cards of the year that you're looking to build, and really the best way to do that is probably to go to your card shop, your local card shop in your area, or like if they're having a card show. A lot of times people sell, like common cards there and everything. But I know that with my experience, the best thing I normally do is go to my local card shop, and there's a couple of them in my area, and they usually sell commons and stuff. And so let's say if I'm gonna pick like 1971, which that's one of my favorite sets, is the 1971 top set, and I go in and they have a bunch of them, bunch of commons. I'll ask the owner or whatever, how much he would sell me the whole lot of cards for. A lot of times they'll give you a good price on that. And normally what I do, I take them home, I put them in number order and everything. And so, like, let's say the 1971 set, I think it has 752 cards in it. So I'll put all the cards that I bought, the lot, in order. And then after I do that, I'll get out a piece of paper and I'll write down all the numbers that I'm missing. Now, one thing you definitely want to do is you're going to have to decide what kind of condition you want your set to be in. Now, when you start getting into older sets like the 50s and 60s and stuff like that, that's really very expensive to get really high grade sets of those. So sometimes you get, a lot of times I'll make sure that I'm not building a set that has anything that has writing or creases on the cards. But there might be some soft corners on stuff like that from the 50s and 60s and some of the early 70s also. But once you start getting to, like I would say 1970, probably 4 on up to now, you should be able to, find cards in really good condition that you can build a really good set from and everything. But like I say, so I normally put the cards in order. I write down the cards that I need, and that way you could go to like I said, a card show the next time and say, okay, I'm looking for these numbers, and you can find them. And that's kind of how I start to build. And I always try to get the best condition I can. And what I normally do is I also, when I have a list down of the cards I need, I also have a list of cards I need to upgrade, because sometimes, let's say the 71 set, I got a bunch of commons that are in really good shape, but there's a few of them that aren't as good a shape. So I'll write those down, and if I find a card that I can upgrade that, then I'll start upgrading that set and everything. Now, I know I talked about my first video about high number cards, and somebody had a question for me on that about what are high number cards. So I'm going to try to explain that a little bit. So high number cards, they had from 1952 to 1973, and what that was Topps would release their sets and everything would release their series of cards in 1 through, let's say, like 1971, 1 through series 7. So there'd be 7 different series that they would release them. Before the season would start, they would release series 1. And that might be card numbers. Well, matter of fact, I have some checklists that I use here. So like 1971, the first series was card number 1 through, let's see, was this 132. So that would be the first series that Topps would release, and then they would release the second series, and then the third series, and then everything. Well, as the year went on, as they were releasing series, like the 1971 set, the last 2 series, the 6 and 7 series, are considered high number cards. And the reason why that is they're really kind of like short printed. They didn't make as many of those because a lot of people have moved on and started collecting like football cards, because by the time they got to Series 6 and 7 in 1971, the football season had started and they'd started selling football cards. So a lot of people had moved on at that point to doing those, and so they like I said, they've learned over time from 1952 on up that not as many people were buying the later series because they were buying football and stuff like that. So, but in 1974, 1973 was the last series that they or last set that they did that released in series. In 1974 is when they started releasing all the cards. So in 1974, I think there was 660 cards in that set, if I'm not mistaken. They released them all at one time. So when you would buy a pack of cards, you could get any of those cards from 1 through 660 in that packs. And so that actually made it a lot easier to put those sets in order, because you could do that like right away when the season started and everything. So but like I was saying, you know, the best thing to do is get you a list of the cards you're missing, and then, you know, when you start going, you know, you could go back to your local card shop again in a month, 2 months, because they buy a lot of cards, you know, from people, and you can get them, and that's the easiest way. But you could also go on like eBay, or you could go on a Facebook group, and Facebook is really good. A lot of people didn't know that, but Facebook, you could search like a group. Let's say you're putting together a 1971 top set, and you're looking for, you know, about 100 more commons or high number cards or something like that. Well, you go on Facebook and you search 1971 Topps baseball, and there'll be a list come up, and it'll be different groups of people that, you know, are interested in that. And what you do when you join those groups, then you put in, you know, you could put on there in a listing, say, hey, I'm looking for some cards, and put your list on there, and people will contact you and help you build that and everything, you know. And that's a good way to do it. I've done that before too. And I also I sell cards on there and everything, because I buy a lot of big lots from different places now, and I build sets from them, and then my extras, you know, I'll go on there and try to sell and help people out. So that's something too, that if you know, if you're looking for some cards, and or you want to start a set, you could comment or email me, and I might be able to help you get a starter set going or something like that. Or I have a lot of stars also, if you're looking for stars on some of your sets and everything. The 50s and 60s cards are going to cost some money. You know, they're hard to find and everything. Like I said, 70s are a little bit easier, but anything from the 80s on up to now would be really easy for you to do. But well guys, I appreciate you watching the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, and pass the word, being I'm just starting this out. I really appreciate all the comments from my friends and family and everything on the first one I did, and you know, let me know what they thought I did good and what I thought I did bad. So hopefully I can keep improving on this thing and helping y'all out. But if y'all have any questions, like I say, on any of this stuff, just feel free to email me or make comments in there. But like I said, please subscribe to the channel, and you guys have a great day.